This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
I mean, I think we got freaking radar driving, patrolling. I'm just in the gun right now. What's going on, man?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
Ah, man. So, of course, this is WTF Nation Radio's Sergeant's Time. Just feeling all those chevrons and everything. It smells. You know what? Everyone's asking me, like, if you were to describe what would Sergeant's Time be like, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know. It'd be like that half quasi freaking team room with, just freaking. It smells like TA-50. You'd be like, oh yeah, I don't think so. No, I don't know. So it's all smoky and shit. No vapes, of course. But anyways, guys and gals, welcome to Sergeant's Time. Yeah. See, this show, of course, is without. Of course, we're going to have the discussions of that everyone's talking about currently right now. There has been a lot of, I don't want to say tumultuous stuff happening. I mean, I think we can honestly say for the military now. I'm not speaking on the civilian side of the house because we all know what's happened there. But in the military side of the house, there's been some insane shit happening with our military. It is almost to the point where you're like, I don't know. I need an adult. Especially for the active duty folks, the National Guard folks. It's kind of like, hey, what's up, Jason? It's kind of like, dude, it's like one of those things to where someone said, asked me, hey, what do you feel about this? And how confused? Everybody wants to know what our take's going to be about it. And I'm going to be like, well, I mean, like freaking, well, it's kind of like an ethical dilemma. This is the biggest leadership dilemma I think we've had ever in our time when it comes to our soldiers, how we deal with a situation like that. I don't think in our time we've ever had, aside from true, I don't know, we've had some interesting civil military events to which our military, it looks like right now, have kind of gone, I don't know, without guidance. What does it feel like to you, Radar? Do you think we're going back and forth on a lot of stuff on how we see our military right now and what they're doing? I'm not getting, of course, I'm just talking about the perception wise. I'm talking about how's it looking so far. Do you think there's like some level of confusion of what we're supposed to be doing?
Some level. I think that's the new norm. You know, we keep talking about the new normal. I think the new normal is confusion. It's like who can where and why,
right?
I hate. It's our job as sergeants to like try to disseminate. I'm not gonna say what's important and what's not, because that's really more black and white than what it is. But sometimes you can't trouble the Joes. You can't trouble your troops with every fucking detail, right?
Right.
And right now it's coming from all sides. And then you got, you know, obviously I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. I don't have my troopers aren't bugging me. But you know, I couldn't imagine being an NCO right now and having my privates coming up to me and saying, "Hey, sir, what are we supposed to do?" Because I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to do.
Right.
How are you supposed to disseminate information to your troops when you don't know the information? And it's coming from everywhere and all different kinds, and it's so contradictory. And we see these things on, you know, hey, this memo came out, no PT, and then your sergeant is texting you guys, how come you're doing PT? Well, I don't know, Top, which one am I supposed to do?
Exactly. No. Do you think that kind of, because I'll be honest with you, with the current, I would say the plague. I think a lot of it around with the plague. What leaders are saying out, what's happening, and it coming down, and in the media getting it. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of looking at this. I'm kind of looking at this whole situation here with how the military is being treated or how the military is acting. I'll be honest with you, our military, in it whole, from what we've seen in the inbox, what we've seen in the whole, you know, the whole chats and seeing the inbox information, social media stuff, we have seen a lot of outstanding professionalism from our NCO. I've seen it. I mean, I get pictures and videos from the scenes of the riots when it comes to the civil military. I had the civil military event. This definitely is this right here is the big moment of our civil military relations that we have with our civilian people. And from what I've seen so far, our non-commissioned officers and our junior officers are just killing it. They are knocking it out of the park in how they're dealing with the civilian community. We have had some heated discussions in the JOC. I mean, I wouldn't say heated discussions, but there's a lot of what would you do in this type of situations. We've had, I'll be honest with you, we've had the active side of the house tell us how they feel, and then we've had the National Guard side of the house tell us how they feel. And it's kind of like you were saying, it's kind of like the confusion factor, man. It exactly causes that the plenty of guidance and nothing seems to be correct, or it's jumbled upon each other, and there's not. It's like, do we know? I mean, because for the COVID stuff, for like military relief and stuff like that for disasters, we always hear about There is another. There's a there's a task force commander. You ever hear about that? Like Katrina, there was a task force commander name for Puerto Rico in the hurricanes and earthquakes. But there's a task force commander. It was General Buchanan. Everybody knows about Katrina because it was, General Norte. Everybody knows about that, right? So everybody knows. Everybody knows there was somebody in charge. Have you been seeing anybody in charge lately? I'm asking you, radar person, as an NCO. Are you seeing anybody in charge right now? You yourself?
I'm seeing zero anybody in charge. Not even the governors of the states who are calling up the guard. They're not in charge. There's no one in charge. The rioters, I'm not calling them. They're rioters at this point. Sorry about it. Like, we're done protesting. We're rioting. Sorry. They're in charge.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. And that's a good point, because there has been both. And I've noticed, and I had this discussion with an active duty guy, and we were talking about, hey, you're up there, you're doing some shit and all this other stuff. And a lot of it believe that they're getting confused because they want to know where the rioting is at. They know, don't get me wrong, they know about the rioting. They know it's happening. We've been seeing it on fucking video. You're right. There's some rioting going on. There are some rioters. But the military side are wondering, where are we're not seeing it. Like, I don't want to say nobody's fucking with the military, pretty much. They're kind of like, they're not seeing any riot. They know, they can see in the background. They obviously can know it's happening. But the actual interactions with the protesters, they're kind of wondering, why are we getting called up? Why are we here? Type shit. You know what I mean? Dealing with the protesters specifically. I'm talking about the protesters. We'll get about the rioters later.
Okay. But I don't know. But I wonder, because the protesters, anybody who's involved in this ain't mad at the army. They ain't mad at the military.
Right.
They're mad that cops keep killing kids.
Right.
People.
Bingo.
Get that. I 100% get that.
Bingo.
Nobody's the army, so they're not. Maybe they're just kind of staying back from them. I don't know. But I haven't even seen, in all the videos you see that are floating around here, you see a lot more of the, interactions between the rioters and the police.
Right.
And the rioters and the truck drivers.
Right.
Or
Right.
whomever.
Right.
Which, by the way, like a fucking week ago, everyone's like, praise Jesus, the truck drivers, because they're bringing us our toilet paper. And now they're like catching their semis on fire and cut the brake line and shit.
Now everyone's, hey, I need my shit tickets, man. Leave them truck drivers alone.
So yeah, we gotta but yeah, you see, I don't know. There's been some, God, this is where the memes keep
right.
me grounded.
No, you're right. Because my biggest thing is this, and we're talking about people in charge. We had an active duty unit show up to fucking elements of the 82nd Airborne Division showed up to freaking DC. Friends over at Task and Purpose busted out the story. They were on top of it. Jim Laporta was on it too. But hundreds of paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division were deployed to DC in case they were needed for riot control or expected to return to Fort Bragg today. This is what defense officials say. Other active duty troops remain in the nation's capital in case they are needed. I understand everyone's like asking, why is the Washington is kind of like, isn't like federal territory, so they can kind of, and there's also a lot of governmental stuff that would have to have military or federal protection. That's just it. You know what I mean? I didn't see the freaking VA got fucking. Why are you trashing the VA? I still got my freaking records that are up there. You know what I mean? Leave the VA alone.
Yeah, unless you're gonna hack that shit and give it 100%.
Exactly. That'd be awesome if I'm not saying that Anonymous should do that, but if all of a sudden all veterans that were collecting freaking disability all of a sudden got 100%. Other active duty troops, of course, are still staying there, and then roughly 1,600 troops from Fort Bragg and Fort Drum were dispatched to the bases outside, following protests that, of course, was sparked by killing George Floyd. The federal troops are not allowed to enforce civilian laws within the U.S. unless the president invokes the Insurrection Act. Now, we have had so many fucking armchair lawyers and quarterbacks and talk about the Insurrection Act and all this other stuff, and I'm waiting for the judge. I'm thinking about having the judge coming on here and explain to us, being that he is our JAG and he's all up in that business. Why we would have it. There's a lot of specificity to the timing of this, as well as people talk about other past events of the Insurrection Act, and then we're talking about now. at different times. You wouldn't send a freaking horse-drawn carriage to battle now because we no longer do that, right? So there are obviously different conditions and stuff. The paratroopers of the 82nd were expected to begin returning today, or yesterday, but SecDef rescinded it after meeting with D. Treasy in the White House. And of course, I guess it's pretty pissed. I guess D. Treasy's pretty pissed off. I guess that means he's not going to come on the show. Is he not going to?
He needs to. We got questions.
Yeah, we got questions. He did. Yeah, he was supposed to come on. We were gonna we're not gonna be like Fox News and CNN, and we'll let you fucking talk and dig your own hole.
Yeah, he doesn't need our help.
Exactly.
We don't have anybody who's senile enough to have Joe Biden on with us. We need somebody who's like just.
But Joe Biden, having Joe Biden on, I don't even know what he would be. You just let him talk. I just let him talk, and I know we're just like ask him questions and let him ramble, dude. Fuck.
I wouldn't even ask him. I just let let
him ramble. See,
somebody who's like, I don't know, and I feel bad making fun of people with Alzheimer's. I'm talking about if you have Alzheimer's, I'm making fun of you, or if your grandpa's whatever. But we need somebody with Alzheimer's so they could keep it up. You know what I mean? Like they could just have the same 3 questions with different answers for like an hour. That'd be great.
Right. Well, have you noticed? Have you noticed that they say that usually what helps and this is just from what I've heard of individuals with Alzheimer's, just remembering and going back with helps them with their memory and stuff, at least to keep talking. Let them talk. You know what I mean? But that's another story. That is another story.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it would be cool to land in the pool at the National Mall.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Exactly. Just land in there and said, "Hey, let's talk." Mm-hmm. So Esper reportedly angered D. Treasy when he said that he doesn't believe that the president needed to invoke the Insurrection Act. I don't care what your. It's almost like the position of duties of what a person should do or not should do. We only give information when we give to the commands because we know that there's somebody in their command doing some shit, or their command is doing something and they're about ready to get lit up by either Jose or get posted on Screenshot Madness on the main page. So it's kind of a. It is a fine line when you're telling an appointed individual of the cabinet that has been, I don't know, screened. Wasn't he screened? Didn't he get a confirmation hearing? Right? Isn't that one of those things like you kind of got to sit there and testify and get grilled by individuals who've been in government for fucking ever that haven't done shit in over 40, 50 years and are trying to tell you, then you're messed up. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly right. At any rate, I'm quoting, I say this not only as Secretary of Defense, but as a former soldier and a former member of the National Guard. The option to use active duty forces in the law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort, and only the most urgent and dire needs, unquote. He told reporters. Quote again, "We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act." On Thursday, the White House spokesman, Hogan Gidley, did not rule out the possibility of the active duty troops could be called on to help the National Guard, local and federal law enforcement, curb domestic disturbances. He says that the American people's safety and security is number one thing. Donald Trump cares about that, period. Gidley told reporters, according to a White House press poll, all options on the table. So they had the 82nd up there. I wonder if they got to go out and go eat or something like that. I imagine it's like a bunch of freaking paratroopers on the freaking ground. You were in division, you know the deal. You were. I'm gonna say you're like.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think that. I think the 82nd. The 82nd. You're gonna send who? I mean, because somebody made a joke. Someone sent me a joke or posted on the tweet that. I wonder if I saw it on the tweet or saw it as a meme or something or a joke. It said that somebody. All you had to do if you sent the first cab was to start running, and they would they would fall out of a run. Just breaking balls for calf. I know we talk and we have but anyways, I don't see. In other words, I don't see in his position. You're kind of saying, and you're kind of seeing this whole situation is like you were saying. There's no guidance. Everything's left and right. In the middle. Everyone's trying to draw out politics. And I'll be honest with you. I'm honestly seeing a bunch of other stuff that people are just bringing out of the woodwork that kind of save their own ass, so that way they don't look bad. You know what I mean? It's fucking frustrating. So, with that, there was leaders that have had. Did you hear about Mattis? Dude? Did you see what Mattis wrote?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Mattis?
I was going to segue into that in a little bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For that.
Yeah, go for it. I'm ready, brother.
Because we're talking about a perceived lack of leadership, right? Whether it be from D. Treasy on down, from whomever, and it kind of seems to me that since Mattis and Trump have had their little falling out, that it kind of seems that that's when there seems to have been a lack of distinct leadership. Everyone up in the Pentagon, and this is just from my perspective. This is Sergeant Radar talk. This is not anyone else's opinion but my own. That it feels like there's less cohesion, and that people are kind of pussyfooting around Trump, not to save your job or whatever. And it feels like Mattis was kind of. I just saw an article a little bit ago. It was like, and his fucking duffel blog is getting more and more. I don't even know how they're not like just regular media now.
I love duffel blog.
Troops escalate with Mattis after divorce is finalized, and that's fucking true.
Right.
Like, you know, he was kind of that. He feels to me. He felt like he was like that glue that kind of kept. He was like the really good first sergeant who kept the crazy lieutenant from doing dumb shit.
Right.
And like making troops do dumb shit because lieutenant's a retard.
Right.
Like that's kind of how it feels. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and I don't know. Like maybe that's what he was doing. Maybe not. I don't know. But it sure feels like everyone's just afraid of treason. They want to keep their job and they want to, you know. And I don't know. I'm sure to get to that level, to that echelon, that you have to be able to brown nose. They're not very few times.
But is it brown nosing? I mean, because just some things like, for instance, you're an NCO and you have somebody that's a good soldier that just wants to be. Is it because a lot of people say that? Are you cheesing to the fucking sergeant, first sergeant? You know what I mean? There's a lot of cases where there's been, you know, you're hanging out with a group of soldiers and you have that one that's just really laying on thick. You've been that way. You'd be like, shut the fuck up, stop being a kiss ass, go to work. You know what I mean, or something like that. You've done that.
Yeah,
but
not trying to get a job at the Pentagon either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's a difference between like trying to get out of duty on Saturday and
right. No, I hear you. So what you guys don't remember is that D. Treasy, you know, I mean, has obviously been odds with him and has been going back and forth. And since, you know, Mattis threw out the statement, I'm going to read the statement out, and I'm reading and I'm quoteth the Mattis. So that way everyone's saying, oh, I said that. Wow. So what he said, and I know people, Twitter's going to light on fire once he gets the tweet, and he's going to want to kill my shit and say that, where he's like Twitter butthurt. I'm going to say it. D. Treasy's like Twitter butthurt. I'll say it. Yeah. Let me say it again. Twitter butthurt. He gets butthurt. He really gets butthurt. You're thinking, dude, you're getting inflamed about what he said, and it's like really it's describing it's almost like it's easy to troll. Like you set something off and you know it's going to set him off, and he'll just go off on you and all that, and then it's exactly what you expected, that reaction. I'm not saying that he has no right to defend himself. What I'm saying is that sometimes, dude, you sometimes don't have to be on fucking Twitter all the time just throwing shit out. I mean, just throwing everything out. Because the same individuals that were saying, yeah, he's good to go and he should do this, are the same individuals that would be appalled if the last administration had done it or Bush done it. I don't even know how to operate Twitter, ass. You know, Jordan W would be like, what are you talking about? Which Twitter? Is that what you do with a girl back then? W would be like, oh, what? You know, he would know what he would. You didn't expect that stuff to happen. You didn't. I don't know. I never expected I would see a president just doing some shit posting. Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, it'd be like, could you imagine if he had like a meme, like he was dropping memes? Well, actually, no, I take that back. He has been dropping memes. He has been dropping memes, and I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of funny. Would have laughed at it and shit like that. It is funny. Laughed on it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got it. It's funny. But then you're, kind of like, all right, now it's time to president up. Now it's time to do some stuff. So I'm gonna read the statement from Mattis, and it's titled "In Union There Is Strength." I'm not gonna imitate him. I'm not gonna make any jokes about it. I'm gonna read his full statement from Mattis. So I have watched this week's unfolding events, angry and appalled. The words, quote, equal justice under the law are carved into the pediment of the United States Supreme Court. It is precisely what protesters are rightly demanding. It is wholesome and unifying demand, one that all of us shall be able to get behind. We must not be distracted by the number of lawbreakers. The protests are defined by tens of thousands of people of conscience who are insisting that we live up to our values as people and our values as a nation. When I joined the military some 50 years ago, damn, 50 years ago, bro. Shit. Oof. God. When I joined the military some 50 years ago, I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution. Never did I dream that troops would be taking the same oath would be ordered under any circumstances to violate the constitutional rights of their fellow citizens, much less to provide a bizarre photo op for the elected commander-in-chief, with military leadership standing alongside. We must reject any of thinking of our cities as a, quote, battle space. Yeah, I remember that. That our uniformed military is called upon to dominate. At home, we should use our military only when requested to do so, and on very rare occasions by state governors. Militarizing our response, as we've witnessed in D.C., sets up a false conflict between the military and the civilian society. It erodes the moral ground that ensures a trusted bond between men and women in uniform and society they swore to protect, and of which they themselves are a part. Keeping public order rests with civilian state and local leaders who best understand their communities and are answerable to them. James Madison wrote in the Federalist 14 that, quote, America united with a handful of troops or without a single soldier exhibits more foreboding posture to foreign ambition than America disunited with 100,000 veterans ready for combat, unquote. We do not need to militarize our response to protests. We need to unite around a common purpose, and it starts by guaranteeing that all of us are equal before the law. Instructions given by military departments to our troops before Normandy invasion reminded soldiers that the Nazi slogan for destroying us was to divide and conquer. Our American answer is, in union there is strength. We summon that unity to surmount this crisis, confident that we are better than our politics. Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people. Does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years of this deliberate effort and witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership. Damn. We can unite without him. Drawing on the strengths inherent in our civil society. This will not be easy. As the past few days have shown, we owe it to our fellow citizens and our past generations that bled to defend our promise and to our children. We can come to this trying time stronger and with a renewed sense of purpose and respect for one another. The pandemic has shown us that it's not only our troops who are willing to offer the ultimate sacrifice for the safety of the community. Americans in hospitals, grocery stores, post offices, and elsewhere that have put their lives on the line in order to serve their fellow citizens and their country. We know that we are better than the most abusive executive authority that we witnessed in Lafayette Square. We must reject and hold accountable those in office who would make mockery of our Constitution. At the same time, we must remember Lincoln's, quote, better angels, unquote, and listen to them. We must work to unite by adopting a new path, which means, in truth, returning to the original path of our founding ideals. We will again be a country admired and respected at home and abroad. Signed, James Mattis. Damn.
That's fucking heavy.
Damn.
Oh my god. I hope he's loving being retired. Because there's no way he could have done that as the Commandant of the Marine Corps. There's no way he could have said anything remotely close to that as the Commandant of the Marine Corps, at least not in public. So it's astonishing to me. Even a SecDev, he couldn't have said that.
No, he couldn't have said that. He would have. Everyone would have like, oh my god.
They wanted his head on a pike. Anyone who was, and Trump especially, but anybody who was remotely trying to suck Trump's farts out of his butthole would have been in the same boat. Like,
oh my god, dude! There's so much. You want to talk about ass kissing? God.
But and this is where I'm torn, because I think I don't disagree with 99% of what Mattis just said, and this is what infuriates me is that the Democrats were just like, well, fuck it, we got a pedophile, throw him up. You know what I mean? They're like, well, we got he worked for Obama, he's fine.
Well, I mean that's another thing too. Is I kind of look at this whole thing as if And that's a good question. What was the president to do? You know, when a protest dissolved into riots, it evolved and spread nationwide. That right there is immediately you should not be smacking down. And this is just me. We've been deployed where we've had to de-escalate a situation. You know, Iraqi crowds and stuff like that, man. You know the deal. And you know they start rallying around your vehicle, and you get out, and you're like, people are freaking the fuck out, throwing shit at you, and what do? And you take your helmet off, right? And you, hey guys, what's going on? You guys are good. What's going on? I'm bad. Hey, whoa! Don't look at me. It wasn't me. What's the issues? What do you guys got going on? What's the matter? And then someone says, we don't got no running water. We don't have no, you know, you don't have this and this and this. Okay, well, let's see what you can get. Well, who's in charge? You know, what's going on? That would have been a little bit better than just, no, we're going to smash everybody and all that. I'll be honest with you, there's been a lot of agitators throughout this whole event anyways that have taken advantage of this whole fucking shit.
On both sides. I'll say this on both sides
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
There are people who are trying to make for whatever gain they have. But I still think that one meme where it was like, he's got the Marine and he's got the Iraqi prisoner and he's dragging him and he's got like a saw and a big old dip in his mouth, and like the biggest difference, this guy was just getting shot at and now he's taking this guy into custody while the other guy was handcuffed, and the biggest difference is accountability. And there's
Right.
in some police forces across the nation, there is a lack of accountability. And I have, my cousin is a cop. My aunt was a cop. I have a lot of blue in my family, and I'm not in any way trying to say that I don't trust the police. I don't think that they're bad. I think the majority of them are good, and they're doing a very difficult job. But I think in a lot of, especially larger metropolitan police forces, there is a lack of accountability for certain actions. And good, bad, or indifferent, that's what needs to change. And I'm not even mad at people saying we need to hold these people accountable for their actions.
Right.
I 100% agree with that.
That's you know, and that's a good point, because this has not been a I mean, the whole see, now we're getting back into civil stuff when we're supposed to be talking about Sergeant's Time shit. But anyways, I'll go into this. No, it's okay. We'll talk about it. What I'm saying is that what does it get into the fact that the policing of the environment has not just happened for the last 3 years. You can't specifically put that on Trump. There's been Obama, there's been W before that, and there's been Clinton. There has been already environment of we should have been seeing, I think, more attorney general action as opposed to the president doing something. Like if you were hearing about something that happened with a police agency, a law enforcement agency back in the day, then you would have had whoever attorney general for pick your administration would have stood up and said, hey, here's this issue. We got these bad cops. We're going to route this out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I think the community would have been a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit, like Tina said, is like we've done it quick and rapidly. You know, it should not have waited for so long for all this to happen when we all saw it. And of course, everybody wants to throw then, well, what happened here and what happened there and what happened there. And when he was 20 years old, he fucking stole a pack of gum. And then when he just, it literally is, you don't want me to dig into your past. Nobody wants to dig into my past. I guarantee you, I do something big. Well, you know, Ice, when he was a private, he snuck off and smoked some cigarettes behind the barracks. Oh my God, you shouldn't have. You know what I mean? It would be something like that. And then people would make a big deal about it. What you saw in those minutes and what you saw then, the way I kind of see it, the dude's fucking restrained. And we can go back and forth on this, and I don't care. Anybody tries to pick pepper out of fly shit when it comes to this. It is what we saw and what had happened afterwards I mean, what the fuck? Everyone were shocked. We're like, what the fuck? So right. I think if we had seen more government responses to attorney generals coming out on all administrations, from this one on the way back to my lifetime, you know, freaking... my lifetime, I can remember all the way back to Carter. You know what I mean? That old. Then we saw police departments being held. That was almost like there's some, I don't know, the internal affairs of that. You know, a lot of it too that you kind of see that was a lot of issues with a lot of law enforcement agencies being held accountable as the police unions, right? Don't you know? I mean, you're right. Don't you agree that there's the police? Exactly that, Tina. The hell yeah, we do that shit too. We like to bust out people. You advertise the punishment.
Well, and that was just I can't. Nobody can defend that specific. That last, of
course,
but there's a lot of I don't even know if it's a federal attorney general thing. I think it's more of especially states. I'm big on 10th. I'm big on the 10th Amendment. I'm big on the states should handle their shit.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
They need to be it should be handled at the lowest level kind of deal. Okay?
Right. Well, it's okay. You're right. But see,
but it's a nationwide thing where
But yeah, right. But your squad.
You don't want to be the cop who narcs another cop. And I get that. Nobody wants to be that anyway, but don't put people in a situation.
Right.
And it's the same thing in the military. Like there's been dudes I've watched, especially when I was like a lance corporal or a specialist, like watching people do dumb shit. And you're just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Right.
And you feel torn. Like, do you report that? Do you know it's wrong. You know whatever fucking private stuff he did was wrong, but you know he's going to get busted for it. You don't want to be the dude to narc him out. You don't want to be that soldier. And I've been in that position, and I'm not envious of that at all. But at some point, somebody's got to stand up and be like, hey, we got to quit killing people. Like, I don't give a shit how thin blue line you are. Writing a bad check should not equate losing your life. You know what I mean? Or stealing a pack of cigarettes. There's all these kids have died for all these random shits.
I'm gonna bounce checks in protest of, goddammit. I mean, saying that because that I mean, I think you're right. It's so fucking ridiculous. It is so fucking ridiculous that now somebody worried about getting restricted. Not, of course, he was already detained. We already gone over the thing when I fucking went off when I had a fucking meltdown on fucking Monday. Meltdown Monday was nice. But I'm telling you, it doesn't for the military side of the house, it places us in a specific situation because in the active duty side of the house, look at it like this. I have family members that are up in that area. What if I saw one of my former Joes that's still in having to be in that individual, having to be a protest and been given the order to start cracking heads? Now, of course, people are going to be like, well, your family shouldn't be riding. So far, I've only seen the interaction with the troops, them standing there in front of them.
Right.
I've not seen the troops get attacked. I have not seen any video yet. Now I've seen the fucking, the police going off on fucking the media, going after fucking reporters and knocking people down for no fucking reason, just sitting. I mean, literally, camera people just getting whacked. Well, that was happening in New York too. But you do that, and if I see you on TV, and I was one of my former Joes or something like that, or your troops, and you're like, hey, Ken, I just saw my daughter get punched in the fucking face by a Joe who was just standing there because her sergeant told her to push him back, and they were just standing there holding a sign. You think about that too. You think about the National Guard personnel that are standing there as well. They're from those communities. Mm-hmm. Now you're standing in your community. You're standing at City Hall from your own hometown, and you're a drilling guardsman or reservist. And then now you have to sit there and guard that. That places a serious leadership dilemma. I'm not saying about the right or wrong about it. I'm just saying placing yourself in that situation where you're one of your best friends who wants to protest, wants to attend down to City Hall, and there's a protest going on, and you're there with your riot shield, and they give you an eye-to-eye contact and recognize you. Mm-hmm. What would you do if you found out one of your kids got smacked? It'd fucking piss you off too, right? I mean... I've already told my daughter, my oldest, hey, be careful. Be careful. Just be careful. I mean, that's all I can do is dad say, hey, if I see my daughter holding up a sign or something like that, and all of a sudden I see some dude butt stroking her in the face because she was told to get out of the way when they're doing that. You need to get out of the way. And trust me, the way they're doing it, I'm not, nah. A lot of these guys freaking are just, I don't know, just fucking, nope.
Well, unless I don't.
Yeah.
I don't am. Glad I'm not in that situation. I really am. Really am. But I just couldn't imagine like being in that spot where you have to tell like that one fucking, what was it? There was like that one buck sergeant, and he was like just standing there taking it. There's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And the whole group of them was African American. The sergeant was, and the fuck kids yelling at him.
Yeah.
And they don't know. I mean, it was like Minnesota National Guard. You know what I mean? Like the dude was probably from like across the fucking street
right.
or some shit. Or he was getting harassed by these kids, and I'm sure he didn't want to be there. I'm sure he didn't. You know what I mean? No one wants to fucking. You don't want it to be there. Like maybe bad. I would never want to tell my troops that we are going into a United States city, and we might have to hurt people there. You know what I mean? We might have to hurt our citizens, the people who we have sworn to protect.
There you go.
We may have to hurt them to protect them. Like that, I don't even want. Nope. I'm glad. I just be like,
right.
I gotta do
Right.
I'm gonna go smoke a bowl. I'll be all right. I'm gonna do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even imagine like, oh, nope, not it.
People would be coming back from the world's biggest piss test because everyone would be dropping weed in front of it. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, whatever. Spraying some shit, calm down a little bit. But you've got all of these things that just would blow my fucking mind. And that Sergeant, he did amazing. If he's listening right now, just let me know. I'll buy you a beer, dog. I will, because you were amazing at that. Sorry about it. Sorry that you had to go through that. And I feel bad for anyone else who's standing on the front lines right now, whether you be a police officer or whether you be that buck sergeant from the 34th Infantry Division or where the fuck Minnesota National Guard is. Red Bulls. Good job, guys. But just saying, like, fuck all that. You know, but like I said, that gets back to the very beginning of this where we, you know, there's very little leadership on any end. I mean, I'm sure like they didn't have time. They were like, get your shit. You're down there. You know, those guys were already like at drill or like at AT or whatever. It's June. They're at AT. It's that time of year, right? They're just fucking chilling. Probably, I don't know, whatever. What do fucking guards do at AT? Like drink beer and hang out at the pool or some shit? I don't fucking know what guards do at AT. But I don't know. Sorry, National Guard. Just send me a chat. Like, whatever. Yeah, Michael Sumner is so closer to the Special Forces than the Coast Guard.
Yeah, but you're right. You know, you're right there, Radar. It's almost like, what do you do in a situation like that? Because a lot of the guardsmen, a lot of those soldiers in the Guard do not get a lot of their training. I know individuals that are in the Guard, and I have friends that are in the Guard, and what they've been doing for the last few weeks before all this COVID drama happened was online training, do a PT test, go to the range, online training, huddle around 3 computers, not figuring out what to do, and then they all get sent home, and then that's it. And then of course, once the COVID stuff happened, everyone started going nuts with the online training. You have to do virtual training and stuff like that. Now what? Now you freaking have put yourself in a situation where now you have a bunch of soldiers sitting in the house. So where was the riot training at? You're not gonna get no 2 weeks of training and we didn't get that. We didn't get that crap in the Army. We just freaking.
Nope. I don't remember any like no bullshit riot training ever. I don't remember that shit.
I got some non-lethal training, but it hurt.
Yeah. I remember that shit where they spray you with the shit.
Yeah, they spray you in the eyeballs with OC, and then you get tased with an X26 taser. X26 camera taser is what I got tased with of excellence. And oh my god, it's I'd rather get tased than OC, man.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. OC just takes forever.
I got the. Well, I didn't. It was like an actual one. It was we got. Oh, they sold them at the fucking bazaar in Iraq.
Oh, you got the prod. You didn't get the actual taser with the prongs that fly at you.
Darts. Oh, the darts. I didn't get that shit.
Oh no, I got the darts. I got the darts, and freaking I got the darts, and then I got OC. So the darts, I got harpooned. You know, like a freaking.
But you'd rather get sprayed than darted, huh?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, oh yeah. I'd rather. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude, trust me. You rather get tased. It is a significant emotional event. It is an out of body experience that you'll never want to repeat. But it only happens for 5 seconds.
That's true.
But OC spray, if they do it right and they get you, and you got a dickhead instructor, they will freaking. It sticks. It just stays there. OC is like it's oil based. I mean, I got like oil based crap. It just stays. It's hard to get off of you. It stays for like hours. You want to gouge your eyeballs out, dude. You don't want to touch yourself. And as a matter of fact, if you're not careful, if you wash and you had it on your eyes and it goes down your body, guess where it's gonna hit? It's gonna hit the sensitive spots. Yeah, exactly. You get some fire nuts. You get a fire crotch. How about that? But so when that happened, by the way, so when that happened with, I'm not talking about my nuts, or I'm not talking about the freaking. I'm talking about D. Treasy. D. Treasy twittered. Did you see what he did? What he twittered out? What he tweeted out to Mattis? I mean, do we? I don't want to give the guy a fucking time of day when it comes to this shit, but okay. If you guys want to see what he tweets, there's a website that's called Trump Tweets Today. .com. TrumpTweetsToday.com, and all these are all tweeted whatever. So any shit post that he have gets caught. Anything that happens, it gets thrown up there. He's been going off on freaking Mattis since that broke, and I was like, okay. And it's funny that when he busted it out, he literally freaking said that. I mean, he was just. I don't want to pull it up because fuck. Hang on, let me look at it. God damn it, let me just look it up. Yeah, exactly, man. That X26, man, laser prongs. Woo, man. I wanted to get the video of me getting tased either, but that didn't happen. So, let me see. What did he write? He wrote, let's see. So, another breaking news right now. They just released the American hostage, Michael White. Did you hear about that? The Iranian hostage? He just got released. So,
did they?
Yeah, no, exactly. We've been talking about that for a while. We stopped reporting about it, and then now it's like, oh, shit.
Because it's been a hot minute. It's been yeah.
Right.
How long has it been that he's been in custody for like fucking?
Yeah, for a long ass time. He's been in there for a while. So, real quick. So when he did this thing, he busted out. It was like almost it was yesterday, and so D. Treasy says probably the only thing that Barack Obama and I have in common is we both had to honor a firing Jim Mattis, the most overrated general. I asked for his letter of resignation, and I felt great about it. His name was Chaos, which I didn't like, so I changed it to Mad Dog. He's taking credit for that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
His primary strength was not military, but rather personal public relations, and I give him a new life, things to do, battles to win. And he seldom brought home the bacon, which I didn't like his leadership style or much about him. And me and others agree. I'm glad he's gone. That's what he fucking wrote, dude. That's what he tweeted out.
Very well. I did.
That's what he tweeted out, man. I was like, God damn, dude.
Called him Mad Dog. No, I don't. Maybe. Yeah, sure, sir. Whatever. Yep. He never brought home the bacon.
Never brought home the bacon. I'll tell you what, he brought some excellence, man. I mean, come on. Everyone's like freaking. What about me, ass? God, man. He just fucking said that. So that's kind of like, again, that's one of those things like, dude, I get being a shit poster and being a sour, having some sour grapes and being like that. God, dude. So don't fucking go and all this other shit. Yeah, exactly. I had snot hanging out, bro, from OC. Oh, my God. I had snot hanging. As a matter of fact, I think OC should be. I think OC gets rid of COVID. Isn't that what the new joke is now? What's going on? If you get OC, it'll clear the Rona. But, anyways, I will. I think it's time to take a break. It's like freaking. And we'll. We can go over some other stuff later. We got some shit that's kind of got me fired up. Situation that happened in Grand Forks.
I guess that's what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Other stories going on. So we'll be right back. We want to take refresher glasses and shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.